go for it. We've seen it fail, and we actually saw it work okay yesterday, where he got quite a lot of stacks on it.
Well, we'll see if they do it again. Picks and bans are underway. Elements taking Zed off the table. No surprises, Froggen does not like a bumpy laning phase.
No, Zed's been banned by Elements in every single game, actually, I believe, so far. And yeah, I mean, Froggen can play it, I know he can, but he just really doesn't want to play it at this point, and just ban it away instead from Elements. Same goes for Janna, which typically is not the go-to support for Vander, who likes Thresh more. Even picked it yesterday when Janna was open. Not really sure what Elements is aiming for with the Janna ban.
Yeah, a little bit curious. ROCCAT, of course, taking away Wicked Zorelia. And Azir has been removed. Lissandra now as well. So a lot of top lane and flexible targets, really.
You have to ban Azir against ROCCAT. So
leaves Gnar open, though.
Make sure, yeah, Rek'Sai is open as well for ROCCAT here, but Elements decided to get Gnar instead. And we have to remember Rek'Sai yesterday was played by Shook, and he didn't have too much impact on the game here. Jarvan is going to be open for them. So I actually think getting the Gnar and the Jarvan now, so you have that combination, is better than first picking the Rek'Sai for Elements. I think they did the right choice.
But we do see Nukeduck getting his LeBlanc, and now actually there's going to be a bit of discussion here about the Rek'Sai. It was locked in. Coach might have something to say about that, Ducky. Shaking his head a little bit.
Pretty sure what's happening. Everyone is smiling. But yeah, Rek'Sai for Jankos here, and obviously, again, the LeBlanc from Nukeduck. Early picking it. Kassadin was banned by ROCCAT again, so they avoid that matchup, which ended up burning Nukeduck in the first game of the LCS, actually, for ROCCAT.
Yeah, Froggen has an opportunity to make this big counter pick here. We'll see what he does go with, but he doesn't have to take it this rotation. I agree, the Jarvan is still up. They don't even have to take that because Rek'Sai has been picked.
Yeah.
This allows Reckless and Nif to fill out their bot lane if they want to, and they will. Reckless has done nothing but Graves so far, and he goes with it again. Nif instantly with the Leona.
Again, it's a very strong laning phase and then a good mid-game power spike on a Graves where you can force these team fights. You have now already a champion who gets very tanky very early on. Second item, maybe even first item, tends to be a Warmox here, and suddenly he can join these team fights instantly and have a massive impact together with Leona. I was not impressed by Nif yesterday on Leona. I think he missed too many opportunities to engage where he simply just missed his skill shot. But we're going to have to see what he can do today on it. They do like to play around these aggressive supports as well. We have seen Blitzcrank, of course, as well from Elements.
We have indeed. And this is a curious hover here for ROCCAT. An old combo, the Jinx and Thresh. If they do lock it in, Woolite actually has been a little bit subpar. And this is a risky choice, just like the LeBlanc early is. But ROCCAT do like to live dangerously. They lock it in.
Okay, that is a risky lock-in when you already see a Gnar, Gnar, Leona, and even Graves will have a very easy time against Jinx in the laning phase. So I find this to be somewhat of a risky pickup for ROCCAT, but they like to go for these late game AD carries. Tristana yesterday, and Woolite actually didn't manage to do enough late game. He was jumping in 50 minutes into the game and got one-on-one by Reyno with the jungler from Fnatic, and that wasn't good enough from him.
Well, it's at least thematic, because as Quickshot said yesterday, Team ROCCAT, well, sometimes they're blasting off, but we'll see if it's in the right direction. On the side of Elements, you've got the Lee Sin pickup. Shook preferred that over the Jarvan. So this is actually one of the first times we've seen Jarvan not picked, not banned, not even touched.
Yeah, very surprised actually not going for Jarvan, but this shows Elements want even more early game power on this Lee Sin, because we heard Rainover on the analyst desk say the reason we don't see him so often, the Lee Sin pick, is because you rely on getting going early on. You rely on getting these ganks early, where Jarvan is good in late game teamfights, where Rek'Sai is good in late game teamfights, so you can farm and still have a massive impact on the game. But for me, Elements, what they're doing here, again, they're looking for a pick comp where you now have the Lee Sin who can roam between the lanes and actually join in whenever we have these late game one-on-ones, 2v2s in the side lanes, because Elements are going to do 1-3-1. Like we saw yesterday with the Ahri from Froggen, and now Shook can just be very mobile and be part of these fights all the time.
Absolutely, and ROCCAT have a pretty solid mid to late game scaling factor. The really dangerous portion of this is if Elements can't get to the back and pick up Woolite, a Jinx can snowball out of control faster than you can blink, and that's the real trouble. And
you have a perfect setup for the Jinx. You have obviously the burst from a LeBlanc here. You have the ulti coming in from a Rumble, so you get all these members really low, and then you get one kill on Jinx, you get your passive proc, and you can just clean up the team fights. But that requires Woolite to actually survive the engage on a flank that will come from Elements again and again and again in this game here. If he gets locked down instantly by Leona or by a Charm, he's out and suddenly ROCCAT can't win the team fight.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well they're able to protect him, of course. We saw yesterday quite a lot of saves on that Thresh, so we'll see if he can do it again, if it's even needed now with the picks and bans all in the books. Let us know who you think has the edge. Go ahead and tweet us at LOL Esports using the hashtag ELWin or ROCWin. We'll check out those results in-game, but for now, this is looking to be an explosive start. I'd actually go so far to say as we might even see a lane swap in this situation for ROCCAT. Think it would be smart. There we go. The banners are lit, the stage is set, and we are on to the Rift. Elements versus Team ROCCAT, and they're off.
This really is one of those matchups you're just looking forward to all week. Two very, very strong teams in Europe. One of them has picked up two wins. Lost to Fnatic, of course, from Elements. And then ROCCAT, everyone talks so highly of them. Everyone says they made some good changes. We haven't really seen it work out yet for them. And we haven't seen a Gnar start boots at level 1 before from Wicked. That's the first time.
Yeah, that is a little bit interesting.
Not getting any combat stats at all.
They're going to roam into this bush in mass. Ward's going to spot them out, so ROCCAT knows what's up. Pings are flying, and this is going to be a couple of wards down. I think Elements is not actually going to go for the deep wards just yet. They're waiting.
They're baiting it here a little bit. So now ROCCAT thinks there's a ward between the two towers up here on the top side, just in the shadows around the crooks as well. Even though there won't be from Elements because they didn't actually place anyone. And you see also ROCCAT is pinging in that area right now.
Yeah, now again they're going to be revealed. Elements is going to prompt Overpow to back away from this one, but the rest of ROCCAT is here, and this is actually a 5v4 right now because Froggen hasn't made the move. Overpow trying.
Moving behind them.
Oh, yep, this could be dangerous. Lee Sin-Q comes in, but Froggen has arrived. And this is a really tense moment in the early game here. Elements, now wise to what's going on, are going to back away.
So again, for this Elements comp here, we're going to see the 1-3-1. We're going to see a lot of focus on vision control so you can flank around ROCCAT in these team fights. And the Lee Sin pick, I really want to see how Shook uses it, because he has to be very active in the early game, and he has to be able to join in to when the side lanes are fighting one-on-one later on, and that's why he's picking it for that extra mobility and his skirmish potential. But he needs to be able to use it and not get forced into a straight-up 5v5, because that will be tough for Elements if they just walk face-to-face with ROCCAT.
Yeah, we mentioned risky picks, but yeah, Elements taking a bit of their own, with Shook preferring that Lee Sin as a bridge to the mid and later game for this team. And we'll see if they mix up their strategy a little bit more. Everyone always talks about Elements and say, hey, these are the guys that are happy to sit back and wait until the later stages of the game. But a lot of map movements early on, and there is the lane swap, but it's actually Elements that opts to take it.
Yeah, again, did the same yesterday when they had the Leona pick up. Don't want to play the 2v2 laning phase. Obviously, Thresh can't play her away when she tries to engage and actually keep Woolite fairly safe in that laning phase. So 2v1 also against a Rumble. Want to try and deny him a little bit, even though Rumble still, as we've seen so many times, because he requires so little gold to be effective, he just needs haunting eyes and upgrading his boots so he gets more magic penetration, then he can actually team fight. He doesn't get burned too much in these swaps.
They're gonna, find Overpow here. Yeah, it's not working too badly for them, and the boots early is actually pretty solid for Wicked if he does have to go for the double jungling. Jankos now.
Not really. I don't even get why he's starting boots for that. You would rather have some combat stats, unless you're planning on roaming the entire time on the Gnar in this lane swap and not actually go down to your bottom lane and take the 1v2 situation.
Well, they did plan this. I mean, this is a little bit
for sure.
awkward in that case. Nif and Reckless actually fast pushing this tower in, and not happening on the bottom side. Woolite and Vander have frozen it out a bit more.
Yeah, they will build up a very big wave here, and because Overpower and Jankos is on the bottom side of the map, it means that Wicked won't be able to teleport to the bottom lane and then not actually get tower dive instantly by ROCCAT. So they're staying around. If Wicked decides to teleport, then he's dead man. He should be smart enough and just start walking back and realizing they're just going to trade top tower for bottom tower.
Looks like that's what's going to happen. They don't have quite the wave or the damage to accomplish it just yet, but now Vander, Woolite are pushing this one in, and there's a little bit of help, or at least some support in the wings with Jankos and Overpow, who are going to be backing away. Actually deciding they might just go ahead and try to take the tower right here. They do have the damage altogether, so almost a bit of a throwback here to the 4v0.
Yeah, so because Elements was pushing the wave up at the top side and getting a lot of damage on the tower, ROCCAT decides to respond with the same, building up a big wave, and then obviously again keeping Overpower and Jankos on the bottom side to deny Wicked if he showed up in this bottom lane. And that's actually a perfect setup now by ROCCAT. They've managed to get an extra minion from Elements, which means it's now going to push towards ROCCAT. So there's 7 minions from Elements and only 6 from ROCCAT after they killed the tower, making it even harder now for Wicked. And actually, because Nif is there now, he should be able to push it out. So Elements dodging a bullet here by Nif roaming down from the top lane and helping out Wicked push it out.
We'll have to dodge several more bullets. Evander does get rolling, but Nuke Duck finding Froggen in the mid. There is a level advantage, but he actually trades a little bit better.
Again, this matchup, if you land the charm when the distortion comes in from LeBlanc, you can win the trade on Ahri. But it's up to LeBlanc here to start the engages every single time because she has that mobility and you don't on Ahri before you're level 6. But Froggen, in this one-on-one, he's just been out-farming Nuke Duck and really done a good job.
Yep. Evander going to get the catch on Nif. A little bit of rocket harass. Wicked still having some trouble finding some farm, but he's doing a bit better than Overpow, who's now made his way up to the top to contend with the likes of Reckless.
Yeah, Overpow on level 2. We'll get level 3 once he gets minion right here. And we have Jankos staying nearby as well. So once again, ROCCAT is playing it very safe in the lane swap here. You have already a pink ward, so Jankos knows he's not spotted, at least in the tri-bush.
Now that we've seen a number of Rek'Sai in both parts of the LCS here, I'm curious to see how Jankos does on this one. We'll take a look at that win, though. Elements fan base coming out strong, 63%, but there is still some core fans of Team ROCCAT as well.
I mean, you have to respect ROCCAT as a team because they are very, very good players. Haven't been able to really find the win yet, and we have seen a change of style actually from ROCCAT. Gone back to the old KMT days when they qualified to the LCS in the first place, where they played some very, very long games, like to go full late game. And then in the LCS, they were more explosive, they were making big plays early on, they wanted to really try and finish out the games fast, and now they've actually gone back to a very late game focused style where Moonlight is picking these late game AD carries, and you don't mind sitting back and just farming and waiting and not necessarily taking any chances.
And that's fine when you're dealing with Shook on a Lee Sin, who's really yet to make a whole bunch of plays as he moves up to the top side. Gonna run into a pink ward, but he's not gonna reveal himself because Nif is there to clear that one out, and he's gonna clear out the Rek'Sai tunnel as well. Janko's actually making a move over to Drake, and he wants to start this one off.
Yeah, as soon as Nif showed himself in the top lane, ROCCAT was like, okay, we are going to have more guys on the bottom side of the map, so let's just start the dragon. Shook is there as well, so all Overpower has to do now is just not go back to his tower, because then he's going to die. Yeah,
he's in a little trouble. That tower's pretty low. He's going to realize he's in a trap. He's got the flash, immediately uses it. Zenith Blade on. Shook is there as well, connecting with the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike. Overpow, still alive, the flash from Shook, and that's first blood. Not sure why he went that way, as you're right, but ROCCAT will secure the dragon as he bought enough time for that to happen.
He had one job, just stay back, get the dragon, let Elements take this tower here, and it's fine. Instead, first blood now for Shook on this Lee Sin. Gonna be a very fast warrior enchant for him.
Shook will also grab some Krugs for his trouble there. So yeah, Overpow having a little bit of trouble. Still fairly even in the gold game. One tower edge to ROCCAT as well as that newly picked up Drake. Reckless happy to continue farming it out as he has a slight CS lead. Hasn't even backed yet. Should be able to as soon as he gets this tower, and there it goes. Actually, he's going to stick around, but yeah, turn tail and run because Woolite and Vander are coming.
Yeah, so again, ROCCAT is just swapping around here because the bottom lane is already, or the tower in the bottom lane is already gone. Swapping up to the top lane. Dragon been taken away by ROCCAT, so no real reason to stay on the bottom side of the map because there's no objectives anymore. Start pushing down the second turret with this Jinx, and that's the thing you can do on Jinx. Your ability to fast push towers is fantastic with your Gatling gun, and that's what they're using. It's not the Gatling gun, that's called the machine gun.
It's a pow pow.
Whatever it's called. I think where she shoots at the tower very fast.
She does do that. So they're going to start pushing here against Wicked, who's going to have a little bit of trouble dealing with that one. Meanwhile, the rest of ROCCAT down over by this blue buff, helping secure that one up for Nuke Duck as he moves back to his tower. Still settling back into this laning phase after the fast push of towers, but ROCCAT really in a good position right here just because of the fast pushing damage as you mentioned, but they have to be careful. This minion wave's dissipating fast against Wicked. Hook is going to connect. They're going to drag him into the chompers and he hops away, but still nice harass from the dual lane of ROCCAT.
Yeah, and Elements are not sending anyone up here to help because they will be losing the tower. And you have a 2-on-2 in the bottom lane because Rek'Sai is there defending. So ROCCAT at the moment just putting all the focus on getting down these outer turrets, and Elements are not really responding with anything in return.
They're going to try to go on the bottom, but it's kind of difficult. Woolite gets excited and he starts to shove Wicked even further back. No response here, but a lot of members of Elements were making their way down bottom side. Now they think better of it. Nuke Duck forces the attention of Froggen in the mid.
All right, now Sugar as well.
There we go. Ooh, Charm goes left. He's going to Spirit Rush it away, but now it's Nuke Duck's turn to try to get in. He misses some crucial skills as well.
And we see Shug now go down to the bottom lane after taking his red buff. So now they can actually push it in with 3 guys. Jankos as well decided to recall. Couldn't really defend the tower, 2 versus 3 here. So there's a response from Elements. Trading 2 towers. And they can be fairly happy doing this because they do manage to keep, even in terms of tower, kills on the global gold. And then you already have your mid laner. Beforehand, were winning on farm, but now Nuke Duck has caught up.
Yeah, Woolite actually doing quite well in the farm game this time around. We'll see how that continues up against Reckless. Elements hanging around closer to this mid lane right now, clearing out some vision as they continue trying to push towards.
Yeah, the big difference here is how much farm Wicked has actually been able to pick up after these towers have gone down in first the bottom lane, now the top lane, compared to Overpower, who's just been kind of stuck trying to get some XP but not really picking up any farm. And
Jankos, he is charmed up though, nods nearly enough, and he's going to rely on Vander to save his life. So, bit early on the gank attempt, and that is going to get deflected by Elements. But Vander and Woolite roaming once again back down this side of the river.
And Elements, I mean, the game right now, we have 2 outer turrets going. Mid lane is the only thing still alive. With Froggen sitting here already, I don't actually expect to see any quick rush on the mid lane from any of the teams. Just go back to side lanes, especially because ROCCAT, you want to get your items on this Jinx here. You want to make sure she can scale up into the late game and just get the farms she needs. And obviously you want your Rumble to start getting some magic penetration, because Haunting Guys is not completed yet. Sorcerer's Boots are not completed yet either for Overpower, so he's very, very weak if we do have a fight around this dragon, which is coming in 2 minutes. So Rumble really needs to stay in the lane and not go for any fancy grouping just yet.
Yeah, he's had some serious trouble getting ahead, and as you mentioned earlier, giving first blood, a little bit desperate to try to grab a little bit of farm here. But he'll have a chance now as Wicked backs away. He moves back under tower to be able to pick these ones up. And Vander is also here. Going to actually back.
Vander's just making sure Overpower can actually get the farm safely and he won't get killed again by Elements if they had moved up through the jungle, because...
Is Vander the bodyguard of ROCCAT?
He is right now, at least, in this game.
It's an escort mission for Overpower.
He saved Overpower quite a few times.
Yeah, he did.
Not even this game, but just like all around.
Well, he saved Jankos as well. I mean, Vander's really stepped up the Thresh game. I've been very impressed by him in that regard. And we'll see how he shapes up this time around. Nuke Duck looking for an opening, but Nif is there. Jankos as well. Just fakes him out and dodges the charm from Froggen.
And both teams just waiting for this one dragon here to spawn. Let's see the goal for Overpower. He's sitting on 1100 right now, so he can go back and get a Haunting Guys completed, but he actually has to use his ulti to clear the wave, so that won't be ready, or should just be ready in time maybe actually for this dragon. So he should go back, get his magic penetration now, and then ROCCAT can be ready to set up for a potential 5 versus 5 around the dragon.
Yeah, they're going to have to hurry it up here. Drake is about 30 seconds out, and the rest of Elements are slowly converging on that part of the map, pinging out actually in the ROCCAT jungle as Nif takes an advanced position here.
Yeah, this is a very nice setup by Elements. They keep pushing in the mid lane, so they force ROCCAT to stay and defend it. And meanwhile, you have a lot of deep wards placed around this dragon here, which is perfect when you play Ahri in the mid game. If you want to play around the vision, you want the enemy team to walk in blind and have to face check into a charm, because then they will die instantly from the Ahri pickup, and then Elements can take the dragon. So they have been controlling it right now. Keep pushing the mid lane, keep getting the deep wards in, looking good for Elements, and also starting the dragon instantly.
Yeah, they have that Scuttle Crab Shrine. They're able to burst this one down pretty quickly, and no reaction actually from ROCCAT. They're pinging it, but they're not keen on going in, and this is going to get given up to Elements 1-1 in Dragons at 13.5.
Yeah, now ROCCAT is actually moving in. It's way too late for them. Have to get back to this mid lane. Froggen just keep getting a bit of damage on the tower every single time he has the chance. And I like this Scepter pick up from Froggen as well. That magic resist against a double AP. It's gonna do wonders for him.
Yeah, certainly a smart adaptation from Froggen. Credit to Nuke Duck dodging a lot of the skill shots this game, though. He may not have picked up any kills yet, but he's really not presenting too many targets for Elements to take advantage of either.
No, and very important to stay here so we can clear the waves, because we don't have any items completed on Woolite just yet. Not actually going for static shift after the BF sword to get some wave clear. I think Elements can take advantage of, but right now again for Elements, they're waiting just for Wicked to become so tanky he can just sit in a one-on-one easily and have no problems farming it out with overpower, force him away from potential team fights, and then you have Froggen, who's becoming stronger and stronger on Ari, who's been free farming all game, who can go down to another side lane, and you see the damage he can do already. If anyone tries to one-on-one him, he will land the charm, he will kill you, like he did yesterday against Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, Froggen went absolutely beast mode in that game. Nukeduck looking to try to do the same, finds Reckless, half his health flashing forward, the chains won't connect, the ignite is not enough, but Reckless did have to sweat that one out.
Yeah, nice little setup by Nukeduck. Reckless has been farming the bottom lane. Now mid lane should go down. Yank is also giving it up. Or no, actually coming back to try and do defend
They're
it.
gonna try it. Ooh, wait a minute. They found Vander and
dead.
they blow him up. Nif with the kill credit on that one. 1, 2, 3. Froggen looking for some more as Jankos tunnels away. Froggen right back into it. Woolite has to be very, very careful, but they are getting chunked out quite a bit. Wicked close to transformation right here. And ROCCAT still able to push them away from this, but they have lost Vanderlight.
Yeah, there are only 3 guys around the red buff here. Nukeduck is running from the bottom lane. He's very far away, so Elements can stay around here.
Contesting the red buff too, and that's going to actually get smited away at
Shook
the end of the day. That's Shook taking that one away from ROCCAT as they try to chase down anybody, but Elements just a hair step ahead of ROCCAT.
Slowly poking down the mid tower for the last few minutes, and that was too low to actually be defended by ROCCAT, and instant, of course, whoa.
Yeah, Nukeduck dodges that one at the last possible second, but Wicked really providing a pretty big threat on the Snarl. He's not even that tanky yet.
Well, he's going to be tanky enough if you consider if we're 60 minutes in, going full tank on the Gnar here. Don't want to dance around the Hex String at delay his tanky items at all. Don't try and just be a brick wall in these team fights.
So far, so good on that front.
Brick.
ROCCAT have been looking to fire down that brick wall as much as they can, but it's difficult here. Woolite has the damage, but it's way too dangerous to check into this mid. And there's really not much ROCCAT can do in this mid lane right now. Although, pick potential still there. Reckless dragging the red buff away, but now ROCCAT has other ideas about picking that one back up, and it does go to Jankos.
Yeah, this is invading in with 5 guys. Not a whole lot happening otherwise. Very, very slow start. A bit as we expected. When it's Elements and ROCCAT, there have been 2 of the very slow-paced teams who prefer farming and in the safe place where you have to set up a lot of wards before you actually invade into the enemy's jungle. Before you look for the picks, you make sure you have all the information needed so you can pre-plan your move. Reckless here should go up and push out this wave in the top side, and then you have all the wards placed in the jungle of ROCCAT so they can see if anyone moves from the mid lane to the top lane.
Yeah, Elements really trying to slow down that defensive style of ROCCAT by getting picks wherever they can, by invading the jungle. A lot of jungle invades from both teams this game around, and they're going to look for it again. Wicked Chilling Smite is down on him, but he burns his flash to get away. And we talked about this in the pregame, off air, that this is going to be a bit of a rougher game for Elements because ROCCAT is just that defensive team. They are perfectly happy to play the game Elements would want to play anyways, but do it very, very well. And 2-0, that's a fine start. You've got to keep it up there. A bit of a gold lead ahead, but ROCCAT still has plenty of life in this one. And Woolite starting to get farmed up.
Yeah, as long as Woolite can keep farming on the Jinx, ROCCAT is in the game. Trying to push down his tower. It's a bit risky.
Ooh, Nukeduck nearly ate a charm there. Yeah, this is very, very risky. The waves are getting cleared quite fast, but the rest of ROCCAT is here. Reckless is actually making a move down, and he doesn't check into that pink ward.
It's one of the ways Reckless really play on Graves, and one of the reasons he likes to play him is because he can actually go to the side lanes and work a bit as a bruiser because he's a bit of the tanky AD carry, and feel fairly safe while pushing up the waves and getting a lot of side lane farm. But him and Froggen should be switching up at some point, unless they want to keep Froggen in mid lane just for the wave play itself, where he will be better than the Graves pickup.
He does have quite a bit of it. It's actually been a very quiet game from both these AD carries so far. Neither of them really keen on going head-to-head with anyone else on the team. Even though Graves is a much safer champion than Jinx, Reckless still does like to play this early. Bit of passivity. He does have the Infinity Edge finished. He got those early Berserker's Greaves. But he wants to wait until he's a comfortable ramp-up before he goes in.
We saw this yesterday again from Elements, always contesting the buffs. They went for the red buff beforehand, now it's time to fight for the blue buff. All 5 guys are staying around it.
Yeah.
And they slowly just try and grind you out of the game by taking all your buffs, getting some of your jungle camps, and keeping the wards placed deep inside the enemy jungle. And that's how they just play around, make sure to get all the farm. And Dragon now spawning in 5 seconds.
There's no reaction here either from ROCCAT. They're actually sending Commander back. They can't contest this. And they still need to get farm on Overpow, who's really just had a rough time. It's delayed his power spike quite a bit. This will be a completely free Drake over to Elements.
ROCCAT will never be able to fight if they don't get it to set up a few wards beforehand, because then they have to face check into the engage from Elements, and suddenly you have a perfect flank set up for an Ahri, for Leona to land and engage onto Woolite, and that's why they're staying away from them. But they are giving up 2 very easy dragons for Elements, and funny enough, it's just waiting for Woolite.
That third one is going to be a problem. If they do give it up, it gets the extra mobility, and ROCCAT are already having hard enough times getting an edge on them.
Yeah, and Elements haven't even invested any gold into getting them, because they have double Sidestone to place on all the wards here. It's not exactly like they're placing 4 or 5 pink wards around this dragon here, so you invest 500 gold to getting it. No, they just walk in, use the sweeping lens, maybe 1 pink ward, and then a few Sidestone charges, and that's about it. And there's no response from ROCCAT at all towards it.
Yeah, ROCCAT falling a little bit more behind here, but let's see if they can stay true to their play style and hold out for that very late game that they're known for.
And it's really hurt ROCCAT how Overpower was set so far behind. He couldn't even get an early haunting, guys, which again, you normally on a Rumble, even in a lane swap, if he gets denied a lot of farm, he should be able to hit his magic penetration power spike fairly early on. Overpower in this game has just been denied so much farm that he hasn't been strong enough for ROCCAT to feel confident taking any fights, or even walking in and setting up the wards they needed to take the potential fight.
You got to think that ROCCAT is very well aware of Element's style and what they can do to eventually beat you down, and they really want to get this win here. It would make them 2-2 to put up a win over Elements, what many consider to be one of the top tier, if not the top tier team in the European LCS this year. Would be a huge confidence boost to them after having such a tough schedule, but we'll see what they can do here. Nif is going to get caught up by Vander. Reckless is there as well. There's not enough support, and I don't think either team was really that intent to try and fight this one, but they just bumped into each other.
Yeah,
in the ROCCAT jungle. Everything
missed here from their equalizer from Overpower to the ulti from Nif. And everyone just backs away from it. Kind of the story of the game at the moment. Elements moving in, want to contest the buff. Red buff is just spawned now for ROCCAT, and none of the teams really going too aggressive in the fights, and just as soon as the main engage is over, you just back away, go back to farming. Elements once again using the side lanes here, building up these big minion waves, and then they're rotating over to whatever lane where they are about to hit the tower, and you either take down the tower or get it fairly low, so next time you can take it.
Yeah, Elements definitely have the wave control in their favor. Up in the top, it's about even, but everywhere else starting to look better for this Element squad. Wicked going to jump onto Woolite. Lantern will keep him from any harm whatsoever as the rest of Elements converge on this bottom tower. How good is the anti-siege? Froggen coming in, trying to pick 2 targets at once. He does make a pretty good job of it. Overpower pretty low as Wicked comes in, but he's overextended in this one. They've defended them super mega death. ROCCAT just barely does not kill Wicked, and now ROCCAT in hot pursuit. They're gonna find him, and there we go, Overpower. That's some much needed gold for the ROCCAT top laner, and they're still chasing.
Yeah, coordination problems here for Elements. Froggen just wanted to see if he can find a quick pick with the charm and then dash out again of the tower, but Wicked went in all alone behind the tower as well, and ROCCAT managed to just kill him and force Elements away despite them having a massive wave around that bottom lane.
This might be the opening to try and pick down that middle turret finally as well. They're all going to converge on it as several members of Elements have backed away. Shook and Reckless making a mad dash back to mid lane, but it might be a little late for them. And ROCCAT have found a way back into this one. They weren't really behind on the game, but that's definitely very much needed for them.
Yeah, that was big for them here. You want Overpower to get his out last year, so the goal for him was great. And you got a mid tower for it. Nice little response from ROCCAT. We could see them try and fight for this next dragon now that Overpower has gotten his magic penetration and is getting stronger and stronger. Woolite as well. And Vintage is completed. Going towards the static shift next. You have 1 minute and 40 seconds, and I actually think ROCCAT should try and fight around this one. Use LeBlanc, use your Rumble, get in there first around the dragon, get up your ward so elements can just flank around you and you have to blindly walk into Froggen, and then you can actually contest it.
Settle down for just a moment, as probably we'll see both the teams converging towards that dragon side. As you mentioned, ROCCAT in a much better position to be able to contest this one, but it's still a tense situation. Wicked has teleports, so does Overpower right now, but it's a dangerous position to be in as Jankos now void rushes his way to the jungle blue buff again. Elements want to take this one away from ROCCAT, who are a little bit slow to respond.
Yeah, it's too easy for Elements to time these buffs here, and every time they go in, take it, place a few wards, and then back away. So no blue buff for Nuke. He's been denied the last few buffs we have seen, and
This may do well, though.
really no response, though, from ROCCAT on all the invades from Elements.
Yeah, they are making moves. Everyone but Overpower making moves on this bottom side. They're actually going to leave Woolite alone as Elements sends 3 members to try and take care of this mid turret. Here comes Jankos for the defense, but it's dropping very quickly. Wicked is here as well. Reckless, the entire team they've brought, and they get themselves a quick second tier. ROCCAT are not responding quickly enough to these.
No, and every time ROCCAT moves to the side lanes to farm, Elements just punish them somewhere else. Now they can move in to the dragon. Not a single ward has been placed by ROCCAT around it, except for that one. I'm lying. And
not
that
anymore.
one is dead.
It's okay. They noticed as soon as you said that. Looks like ROCCAT are looking to try and get a position here, but it's controlled by Elements, and it's difficult to go through this choke. Jankos moving forward to try and see where Elements are, but there is a 5-man zone control here as the dragon gets started up by Elements. ROCCAT have to move fast. Actually, Overpower's taking the slow route to try and get in here. This could be the closing of a trap. Nuke actually dashes his way forward. The dragon going very low, and they might have peeled him off it. Here we go, Equalizer thrown down. Shook and Wicked in panic mode. Froggen is gonna take Overpower. The dragon goes down, but it's picked up by Woolite with a ROCCAT. They're able to do even more. Jankos, though, in some trouble. He goes down. It's a 2 for a Drake. And ROCCAT pick up their second to even that score.
Yeah, very lucky for ROCCAT here that Woolite could actually get the dragon, but that was just an awful team fight by them. Overpower coming in from the flank and his ulti, no setup, no engage coming in from ROCCAT by the time, so Elements just walk straight out of it. And
they're going to lose an inhibitor turret here. Yeah,
again, ROCCAT is so far behind in terms of the wards and the vision on the map, so they can never walk into the dragon and actually get a proper team fight. They have to like dance around, jump over walls, and then it's too easy for Elements just to say, fair enough, we're just gonna like pick off whatever target is left alone. And should have, of course, have secured the dragon, but it got 2 kills for it at least.
Yeah, see, ROCCAT's going to try to make a play here. Wicked is going to get chained up, and they probably have the damage for him. The ROCCAT does not go where they want, but Nuke will get the kill. This is right by Baron, and are they confident enough to start it? It looks like they are. This has got to prompt Elements to do something, but they are backing away. There we go. There's the cancel of the backs, but it's still a very dangerous situation. Baron is still a difficult task, even as easier as it's been in this patch. Woolite, the rest of them trying to zone off. Shook could get in here for the smite fight, but the trap behind the pit. Woolite, he's gonna get chunked down so fast. Reckless blows him up. They left him alone, and Vander, too long. The Baron is secured, but at what cost? Overpower, no friends around, and there's a double kill. Nuke now in some trouble. He gets popped down. What Baron? That's a triple kill for Reckless, and they clear the board of Team ROCCAT.
Desperation moves here by ROCCAT. You get 1 kill onto Wicked 27 minutes in, and you go straight for the Baron. Woolite was caught in an impossible position. He was standing outside the Baron trying to kill it, and that was just too easy again for Elements to engage onto him. No protection, no way for him to actually avoid it. Ends up dying. Fight goes into favor of Elements and inhibitor now. Let's see it again. Notice how Woolite is standing outside the Baron wall here, and there's no chance of him actually dodging the engage from Nip when it starts. Straight onto him. Perfect stun. He's out. AD carry is gone. And now it's just about Elements here cleaning it up. Baron did go down in favor of ROCCAT, but they have no chance of escaping, and of course Froggen on this Ari in the very end.
They were so indecisive here. Instead, Jankos and Nuke took a minute to try to get out, and as a result, fitting a triple kill over to Reckless. That's not a great way to end that one. So Elements clearly in the lead after that play. About 5,500 gold up over ROCCAT. And they've lost an inhibitor in the middle very early. Well, early by these game standards. It's 28.5.
Yeah, the only positive thing is Elements won't be able to bait out a Baron or get the buff and use that to push the 2 side lanes.
You always find the silver lining
I know,
in these things, Officio.
The only thing ROCCAT gained from the play they made beforehand, but I don't think Elements cares too much. You have silver minions in the mid lane. You have a lot of kills. Your AD carry just managed to complete static shift and get another BF sword from beforehand. already building some magic resist. You could just see him go back and get a scimitar fairly early if he actually wants that QSS.
Wouldn't be too bad facing down Nukeduck's LeBlanc, who's actually got a much more conventional build this time around. No Magi Soul Stealer.
Yeah, I don't think Reckless is actually going to complete any magic resist item just yet. I think he wants a BT first, but just want to have it because he's against the double AP, and he knows the Rumble ulti is the only thing that's actually going to get to him.
There we go. Tower getting chunked pretty low here, and there's not enough response. Nukeduck tried to make the play, but he's locked up for just a moment. Vander will give the life-saving lantern, and they're looking to try to return it. The equalizer's there. Vander flash forward. He's going to get shook on a line, and they've caught him. But wait a minute. Woolite is going to get that one kill. Wicked still in trouble here as he backs away. Elements thought they might be able to re-engage, and it's Froggen who thinks for a third time, just maybe, they can do it, but they're buying time for the super minions to start rushing down the mid. They have to back out now, and they've only lost one member for that tower, so not a terrible trade for Elements.
No, not at all. You got the tower down. Okay, sure, Woolite got the kill, not exactly the guy you want to pick up more gold from ROCCAT. He will get his last Whisper very soon, but he's still so far away from a late game point where we actually have to consider him a threat compared to what Elements has on their side, because Ari is so fit. Reckless obviously gave this mid early to late game spike on a Grace, but he's so strong, making it very hard for ROCCAT to do anything in these fights.
Real question is, when this dragon comes up again, what kind of shape are ROCCAT going to be in to try to push it out? They have to shove these super mini waves as far back as possible to even be in a position where they can fight it out. But it's still incredibly dangerous to meet Elements in the open field. This is where they thrive to pick off targets.
Yeah, and because they can just walk straight or blindly into Elements, what ROCCAT and Vander did here was he placed a ward. You can just see it on the top of your screen, right outside the Dragon Pit, which is not a position you expect it to be in, and that's the only hope actually. If that ward stays alive, they can see what's going on around the Dragon, but for now, Elements, they don't care about it. They're just going to push up to the bottom lane, get the last outer turret.
ROCCAT are going to attempt to meet him head on, but a little bit hesitant here, and actually Nukeduck's not in the greatest position to be able to do it unless they want to try for the flank. Nif is going to deny him that opportunity, and this tower going incredibly low, no chance of defending it. As Elements pushes another through, and Nukeduck, he's going to have to distort his way away. And now Elements says, well, we've got 30 seconds to at least push this one in before they even need to go anywhere near the Drake. ROCCAT trying to push that back. Equalizer thrown down, heal is popped. The Zap will connect, they find Shook again, Deja Vu, but this time he gets away. ROCCAT still in hot pursuit, but the minions are starting to push up the middle. They have to send somebody back, and Nukeduck wants a kill so badly, but they won't give him the satisfaction.
Oh, too many wards on the side here. They can see Nukeduck, and also the rest of his team backed away. Once again, try to get a pick on to Shook. Didn't end up working. Dragon over to Elements, get the 5% movement speed. Saw the 15% tower damage as well from the second Dragon in action for them, and they've now been pushing up in these lanes. But they're so far ahead right now, and Wicked, despite being 0-2, just because he's gone full tank Gnar, he's actually very useful in the fights and jumping right in the face of Woolite every single time.
Indeed he has. And Elements are starting to march up. There is no inhibitor in this middle.
Just about
pressure a little bit. It's pretty close, you're right. As Froggen splits down the bottom side, they just continue to keep the siege pressure up to starve ROCCAT out of anything. Big wave in the top pushing ROCCAT's favor, but that's a small consolation considering what they've already lost.
Yeah, Elements just want to get down this inhibitor here and then go back and shop, because they should have picked up quite a lot of gold.
Yeah, as soon as it respawns, Elements is on this one really quickly, but Nukeduck trying to duel it out with Froggen, and he wins! If you blinked, you missed it.
One-on-one kill, saving inhibitor as well from ROCCAT, chasing on.
Yeah, they back off. The
yeah,
moment Froggen goes down, Equalizer Reckless as that half his health bar. Yanko's trying to chase him down. Meanwhile, there's a lot of minions still pushing, as we mentioned, in this top side.
Yeah, he just wants to stop them from actually recalling, so this tower here potentially...
Oh, they do!
Got the teleport as well.
Yeah, minions are going to take this one down. I mean, this is definitely a win back for ROCCAT, but how far can they push it?
See if these minions can actually finish it off. Just a few more hits.
Oh no, they're targeting. There we go.
They got it.
There we go. They were targeting the other minions. Reckless is going to get there too late.
Nukeduck, one-on-one kill onto Froggen. It's all these small individual plays for ROCCAT that really keeps them in the game. It was the same against Fnatic yesterday. They were behind pretty much all game long, but they just kept defending. They kept creating a pick somewhere, and in the end they could start winning some team fights. Through Woolite being very fit, and obviously also Nukeduck on LeBlanc getting enough kills, and he didn't actually go Soul Stealer today. decided to play more standard, just getting the death cap and avoid stuff after the reload.
Indeed he did. DFG there though. It's already playing like the next patch. But they are hanging around this Baron pit, but it's a little bit late as Elements are making a mad dash back up the middle. Baron respawns. Cool new animation, and there we go. There to defend the middle side. Most of ROCCAT, they've all backed away. See if they can keep this defense up. It keeps the pressure off if they can. A lot of wave clear here coming out for Woolite with that static shiv completed.
Yeah, and really, again, around this inhibitor here, it's hard for Elements to get a proper engage onto ROCCAT because they can stay grouped. And Froggen needs to land like a charm, or Nif has to go in and get the engage onto Woolite. But as long as Reckless can get a few hits on it, it will go down in time. There's no real engage option for ROCCAT unless they pop down Equalizer from Overpower, and that's gonna work too well for them, too easy for Elements just to disengage them.
Slowly chipping away at this one. It looks like it's just a matter of time, but Elements can't quite find the end to finish it off the way they need it. They've actually got the lockdown. There we go. A whole lot of damage with the Equalizer, and they found Wicked actually focusing him out as he flashes away. Vander with the hook and the super mega death rocket spells doom, but wait, what's this? They're going in for round number 2. Nif, it's a double kill for Woolite. They're looking for more. Somehow, somewhere, ROCCAT have flipped the on switch, although Froggen finds Overpower. It's still a 2-for-1 Jankos. Charmed up and blown up. Reckless, 2 for 2. Nuke Duck looking for more. Another shutdown. That's Woolite. He gets another double. Unofficial quadra there. Froggen is gonna go down, and there's the ace for Team ROCCAT.
And again here, ROCCAT staying in their own base. Elements can't really find an opening to engage onto Woolite, and instead, Nuke Dog actually setting it up. He got a lot of damage onto Wicked. Then Equalizer happened, and the fight was on. Woolite was left in the back lane. Elements couldn't punish him, yeah. Well, punish him either.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't do anything.
They couldn't really do anything at all, and Woolite, it doesn't matter how subdued he was early on. When you get a Jinx going, you get a Jinx going. 5-1, not yet spent that gold, but look at how fast this Baron is going down. ROCCAT should be able to take it. They've also got minions pushing on the bottom side. This is going to be a close call. Void Rush to try and hold off Nif, and they're just going to back away from it. So Baron secured very safely this time for ROCCAT, and there is life in them yet.
Just like yesterday, ROCCAT, they managed to just claw their way back in the game. These late game team fights. Woolite picked up a lot of kills as well. Very good for him. QSS is completed.
All set up by Vander's hooks too. His thresh is not just for lanterns. Really, really great play from him.
It's him and Nuke Dog, yeah. Him and Nuke Dog together. Chain and the hook is what actually pokes down Elements and sets up that very first kill for Woolite, so he gets his passive proc. And then they just start chasing on, and as soon as Elements cannot get the flank, Froggen cannot land the charm onto either Nuke Dog or Woolite, then suddenly they can't actually kill him in the back line.
To their credit, they managed to pick up a couple of kills there, but it was really just a Herculean effort on Froggen's part, and Reckless as well, to secure a little bit more damage in that one. But they're starting to second guess that push strategy, and actually for all that's happened, the gold is just about evened up, a mere 500 difference between these two teams.
Yeah, and for ROCCAT, I mean, if you look at their 2 members with all the kills, it's the 2 carries, so it's perfect for them. Overpower's been more of a support rumble, just trying to deal all the damage he could and then end up dying in the very end of the team fight, tanking up some damage, while it's all about Nuke Dog and Woolite staying alive. Oh, Jankos should be able to spot them though if he's under the ground.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to go specifically that direction, but if they start getting a little bit further ahead, trying to clear that tasty looking pink ward. There we go. Shook reveals a little early, and all of a sudden the tremors go down and they realize that all of Elements are right in the area, and the big question here is, are they confident enough to fight this?
Well, this is the first time we see ROCCAT actually go down to the dragon before it spawns and sit around it, place a few wards and be ready for a fight. Not just giving it over to Elements.
They have control of the pit too, and
they will get
with the Jinx, it's not hard to start poking these down incredibly quickly. Elements not going to contest this, so now, even on Dragons, and the gold lead moves even closer and closer and closer. 100 gold differential.
3 buffs for everyone as well.
And they're going to be able to push down this bottom side. Elements look a little bit lost here. Like they don't know what exactly to do, that they've fallen a bit behind.
So the thing is, again, they couldn't get the right engage in the base, and this one they didn't want to fight against the Baron buff. Baron buffed up ROCCAT around the dragon here, so wisely enough decided to just wait it out. Now we'll see if they can actually defend. Only 1 wave is pushing from ROCCAT. Top lane is going in favor of Elements, and mid lane is dead even in the middle here, so they have to back away.
Yeah, ROCCAT not overextending themselves, playing it out very safely, and not giving an opportunity for picks. that has been Element's propensity. Oh, Yankos. I think he got a little bit late to the party. But he's back in the middle. Element's trying to hold off this onslaught. No Nif here to start up the fight just yet, but he is making his way. There's just so much wave clear on both teams that a siege is really difficult on both sides.
And also because Woolite, he can't stand in the front, so he cannot really get in and hit the towers. He will be engaged on them by Elements. Either Charm or Nif, of course, so he has to actually play very careful and therefore not able to hit the turrets, just push down the waves every single time. And ROCCAT will have the bottom lane pushing for them.
They're trying to force
and
Elements
top
to
lane as well.
The tower. Yeah,
so they're in good position now. As long as the two side lanes are going to push in, you're going to force Elements then to make a move. They engage on you in the middle, like they're trying to do now, onto Woolite.
They certainly are. Woolite, he's in some trouble. They got the Zenith.
The Lantern,
Can he make it to safety? Yes, he can, but Overpow has sacrificed himself. They're going to pick Nif here, but Froggen, he's not going to connect the charm. Quite a lot of damage. Reckless is going to get Overpow, and Woolite goes down, split up, and taken out. Divide and conquer is the Element strategy, and they pick 3 for none.
Yeah, so ROCCAT here, while they're sending Nuke Dog and Yankos to push the bottom lane, they stayed in the mid with Woolite, with Vandal. There was no flash for Woolite in the fight, and then Elements just get the right engage. Easy for them to clean it up. One mistake in the late game by ROCCAT, and now they might have lost the game.
Yeah, Nuke Dog already just chunked down quite heavily there, and it's such a long death timer for all of these 3 dead members of ROCCAT. Elements still getting pushed off by the lasers of the turrets. They don't quite have the waves, but resources are on the way, and they're still threatening.
Wicked is going to teleport in on a minion once he actually goes back to base.
They're going to try it. Nuke Dog picks up Nif, but that's not the target they needed. Yankos now in some trouble. Do they follow through with the Lee Sin? No, I don't think so.
Managed to save it.
One Nexus tower gone, but you're right. ROCCAT has pushed Elements back again. Still, it's back to disaster mode. And huge minion wave on the top side, however, for ROCCAT as Yankos looks to try to set up a flank, but there's nobody here. This is not what he should have been doing. Teleport, however, is coming in. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to connect as Reckless dodges away.
All Yankos want to do here is once again stop the recalls from Elements because the side lanes are pushing in here. They want to try and get a tower for it. Still chasing on Reckless.
Yeah, Reckless is going to be able to dash away from this one. And the wave is not strong enough to take down this tower, but still, they've bought some time. And ROCCAT, for all the praise we gave Elements controlling the waves, ROCCAT has found a way back into this game time and time again. They have to be so careful as they're sitting now on one Nexus turret, but they have a chance to put the aggression on.
Yeah, the setup from before where they actually had the side lane pushing, but then got engaged on the mid lane. And then due to Elements just pushing straight up, trying to finish the game, obviously meant the side lanes were still pushing for ROCCAT. And now in the end, towers stayed alive. They will regain some health fairly slowly, and it's all about the Baron now. 1 minute, 20 seconds. ROCCAT is setting up for it. And they're recalling.
Yeah, they need to get back and defend the mid in case Elements do decide to push, but they're actually close to the bottom side now.
Yeah, right now ROCCAT needs to sell some of these sweepers or swap them over to the Greater Vision Totems if they want to have a few pink wards to place. Otherwise, they won't really be able to deny too much vision. Because keep in mind, the sweeping lens, late game, you can get 1, maybe 2 wards from it. The pink ward itself, if you're trying to bait out a Baron and you're trying to force the enemy team to come and blindly face check you, the pink ward will do so much more. Give yourself vision, obviously keep clearing wards if the enemy team is placing them. I do want to see them swap some of these sweeping lenses here over to some wards. Otherwise, I mean, they're gonna lag behind. They do have a side stone, however, on Rex side now picked up in the late game, so just lacking the pink wards.
Yeah, it's actually Elements. They are the ones who make their moves over to the Baron pit, but it's 30 seconds too early. Yankos is in danger of getting caught out here as they spend the blue trinket on him there. He goes, going to actually tunnel his way to safety as Wicked couldn't quite connect with enough damage for the pick. The rest of the team going to be retreating from that one. And actually, it's not enough to make him go back
Wicked
here.
Flash just before?
Yeah, he did actually.
Okay, so no flash on Wicked now for the next fight. He won't be able to position himself in the Mega now unless the first jump pays off for him. ROCCAT still around. Baron has spawned 50 seconds on the Dragon as well. And you don't want to rush the Dragon now because then you're going to give up that Baron to the other team. Elements is playing around it. Top wave is massive being built up by them now. Overpower is there as a player. So could start the Baron because Elements has a lot of wards placed around. See everything that's going on.
Elements sticking together like glue here and just waiting for any small opening, any weakness that ROCCAT shows. Nuke Duck going in. Gets a bit of damage chained onto Nif, but he backs out almost immediately. Still threatening on this Baron is Elements, but ROCCAT is not too far behind.
No, they're staying nearby this next team fight.
No teleport for Overpower either, though. He has to make the long walk if he wants to do something.
Again, we gotta just look at Woolite in these team fights. If Elements can manage to blow him up instantly, they're gonna win the fight. If he stays alive, suddenly ROCCAT can clean it up. Yes, fully itemized now. Scimitar
backing
coming
away.
in.
Oh, they're moving them towards the Dragon, hoping that there's no quick response from ROCCAT. And actually, there's the Void Rush, but it's only used towards the middle. And actually, slow move, but they are heading towards the Baron, but they're hesitating a bit. They're actually going to let Reckless take this one solo, but they're going to be for just a few moments without the carry. This is actually very, very smart from Elements. They pick up that fourth Dragon,
very nice.
and they don't lose anything for it.
Oh, nice play. Just sit down your AD carry in the end. Now back in the mid lane for Elements.
Wicked. The rest of the team, they are pushing through now, but there is still nothing really much to take in the middle, just trying to push ROCCAT back and prevent them from getting a good position on this Baron. Wei is pushing very favorably in the bottom for Elements right now. That's going to be a problem for ROCCAT in just a moment. Especially
because there's no teleport for Overpower, so he can't go and clear it. They have to send someone who can instant wave clear it, but then risk Elements starting the Baron. So once again, we have this late game situation where a team is sitting around the Baron, they wall up the entire jungle, and then you just pressure these side lanes through the minions, and you wait for a reaction from the other team. If they send the wrong guy to wave clear it, suddenly you might get a Baron for it. And now Shook and Reckless are starting it all alone. There's no wards from ROCCAT on it. They're used to scrying OP, so they know it's going on, and they're moving in.
They have to get a position in here that will allow them to get back into it, so here we go. Wicked, they're actually peeling off of that one. There we go. Okay. Nuke Duck has to be a little bit careful, though. Nif is very close to him. Enough to Zenith Blade, but won't be required with the Lantern either, so Elements still looking very dangerous, looking to push in this wave on the bottom side now. ROCCAT mobilizing for the defense, but can they do it? Reckless was very far forward, and here we go. They're looking for the chase. Do they have enough of it? They just might, but nope. Elements is going to back away.
Elements backing away. Have had a few team fights already where they end up losing from it, where actually ROCCAT got the jump on them. Elements right now, again, go back to the Baron, keep doing the same thing. Push out your top wave now. And then you also have the 5th Dragon coming up in just a few minutes, so they have 2 options of big objectives where ROCCAT really want to try and defend them the best they can do. So reset the whole thing. ROCCAT needs to go in now, clear these pink wards if they do see an opening. ROCCAT is staying around. Teleport from Wicked as well.
Yeah, it's coming in. Wicked is going to be there for the defense, but yeah, this is such a tense moment for both teams. Whoever does take the Baron, if they're able to follow up fight, it's going to be so hard for the other team to prevent that onslaught. This is heading to a big fight that I think the winner of it is going to push this one in, although Elements has had the better track record for most of those.
If you get to the point where the death timers are so long that if you do ace the enemy team, you should be able to finish the game, especially because all the outer turrets are gone for both of the teams. Still just fighting around the river of this Baron here. Clear out a few wards. Back away. Play it safe. Don't get caught out of position here. It's all about Nuke Dog and Woolite for ROCCAT. All about the engage from Elements.
No, for as much of a lead at several points that Elements have had, ROCCAT have been able to thunder back into this one. And now they're trying to catch them separated. Reckless, the rest of his team just gets there. They don't have quite enough damage. Janko sends out the Prey Seeker, but look at this. They have a wave, and they have a way to push in middle. But will they be flanked? Froggen, the master of this, he's looking for an angle they can get in, but they're going to be a little bit late here. Here it goes.
Yeah, notice how ROCCAT is placing wards on the side every single time they move down towards this mid lane so they can see Elements and the engaging coming. Oh, they're actually going over.
Oh, Vander is going to save his life there. And the Mikhails as well. Really, really well done. And Mercurial Scimitar, excuse me, was the one he popped.
I think I baited you right there.
Yeah, he got me.
Thought it actually was the Mikhail's pun. Obviously, Scimitar works. One cleanse.
Well, you know, you've got one or the other.
Yeah, it's a cleanse.
It's an insurance policy, really. But all the same, Vander has just made so many life-saving plays in this game alone, but all throughout the last several that ROCCAT have played. And that's kept them from really bad situations. When you have that much trust in your support, it's a beautiful thing there, and it's working out quite well for ROCCAT's bot lane.
And of course, Vander still really seeing Thresh. He's #1 support pick. Often not actually going for Gianna, even though it was banned by Elements in this game here. really the comfort pick for Vander, and the champion he actually got famous for here in Europe, just spamming Thresh every time he had the chance, back in the spring split.
Yeah, Woolite doing quite a good job at not just stalling out, but able to just push back these waves so quickly on this Jinx, up to 500 CS in the game. And it's really frustrating for Elements to try to push against that because there's so much damage being burst up. They're not getting close enough to allow Reckless to pull off the assassination, although he's been able to do it on a number of targets, just not as much. Nukeduck now looking for Nif. He's found so many chunks on that one, but Nif taken very low, still very tanky. And the Dragon is still a minute away, although the pit is now controlled by ROCCAT.
It is controlled by ROCCAT. The side lanes as well, pushing for ROCCAT. We keep talking about it because it's basically the thing in this game. If you can get a free tower from it, or if you force someone to go back at a bad time, suddenly you can take that Baron, or you can push down for a good team fight. And that's why it's so important. So for now, it's pushing in favor of ROCCAT, slowly building up. And that's also why they go straight for this Baron, set up a few wards around it.
Oh, they're going to start it off, too.
Instantly,
yeah, this is dangerous, this game. Balance is on a knife edge, and it's going to be revealed right now. The rest of the team is there. They land a massive Leona ultimate, but they're actually not going to follow up on it. The Baron's being started again, and they're being forced away. Can Shook get in for the smite steal? They're looking for an assassination. They find Woolite. He's chunked low, but he stays alive. He's in the back. Collateral damage. They don't have enough to finish anybody. The Baron is actually resetting. Woolite picking up Nif. Wicked, extremely low. They found Vander, and they scatter support for support, but will it be Elements trying to take down this Baron now? No, they just clear the vision and everything resets.
And that was a very, very close call here for Woolite. He got caught by the charm, I believe it was, had to pull both his summoners, stayed alive, traded 1-for-1, but Elements now, 5th Dragon, is on the table and they're moving forward. Teleport coming in here.
Oh, and they have the Rek'Sai ultimate as well. They know this is happening, but it's still a dangerous moment for the Dragon. The rest of the team has arrived. Vander, it's still a 4v4. They've just moved the Theater of War down to the Dragon Pit. It's actually going to move in favor of ROCCAT, who are chasing away Elements, and this could be the 4th one for them, but Shook is still threatening. Dragon very low now, and they just can't get in here to do enough. Dragon has reset, though.
Yeah, ROCCAT doesn't want to risk any smite steal from Shook, so they're a bit hesitant.
They secure it. Yep, that was picked up by Woolite. Brilliant effort now, 4-4 in Dragons. Wicked gonna try to make the fight happen, and the supports, they're still dead.
This late game here now, you have the 5th Dragon for both of the teams. You have, of course, still the Baron alive. It didn't actually die beforehand.
Only 4, yeah. It's coming
only
up
4
on
for each
5.
team, yeah.
Don't get too excited.
Next one.
But it's still, you're right, this is just getting so tense. If a massive fight does go in any direction, that's gonna be game over. The items are still important for ROCCAT because they were a bit behind on a few of them, but you're approaching that 6-item threshold on most everyone. Most of Elements do have it. And actually, ROCCAT are moving very quickly in the direction of this Baron. So much mobility on both these teams.
And Froggen actually running a build where he's not using any Void Staff for the late game here, despite the Locket on Jankos and of course the Scimitar on Woolite. Feels like he has enough damage and he doesn't need the Void Staff to burn through whatever magic resistance we have on ROCCAT's side. Everyone is getting close to being maxed out. Then, except actually the top laners are still very far behind in goal. I mean, they just the guy is dying every single time, and then it's all about the carries, the mid laner and the AD carry against each other here in this game.
Yeah, it's a really, really tense game all around just because of that late game carry potential, but as much as Elements have thrown at ROCCAT, they've been able to throw it right back. They've saved their inhibitor in that middle a number of times, and the wave control has just been spectacular. Jankos playing a much more supportive Rek'Sai this game as well, so not so much as we saw that first time she was picked up in the European LCS. But Elements not really able to get in here and force the fights they want.
No, but they keep controlling the vision in this game because, again, they're running the double sidestone here, and you have a Totem giving a pink ward from Froggen and a Totem giving a green ward from Wicked, so you just have more options to place down these wards here and establish the control. ROCCAT, once again, waiting around. I wouldn't be surprised to see both teams just wait for the next Dragon, see who gets it, or maybe try and trade it for a Baron, but trading 5th Dragon for a Baron is not exactly going to be a good trade for you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's really been a long, drawn-out slugfest. And how big would it be for ROCCAT to come back to win this one after going 1-2 early on? For Elements, they obviously want to secure this one up, but ROCCAT is a very tough opponent, very tenacious, and they'll just keep fighting it.
They will, and I mean, they're going to keep trying. Woolite has managed to get to his full late game status quite a while ago, and once again,
This is a risky Baron here.
is starting. Scrying almost there, but it's going to go down.
No vision. It's going to be
Yanko's
Yanko's going over. He's going to look for the smite steal a little bit early. He does not get it. Shook picks that one up, and Yanko's bails out. And Elements managed to grab a very, very risky Baron at 54.5 minutes.
Yeah, and at this moment here for Elements, when you're trying to take that Baron and it's this 50-50 smite, what you do as your jungler is you tell your teammate, nuke it now when it's about on 1500 HP-ish, and then you know they're going to nuke it and you just smite right after. We saw Reckless here use his buckshot on the Baron in the very end and then followed by the smite, so it was secured by Elements.
Yeah, Jankos went in a little bit early, got kind of hyphy on that one. Now, regardless, ROCCAT have not given up too much for this. They were able to go back quick enough and push the waves back in their favor. Elements, however, are going to have some time on this Baron. And then, of course, Dragon number 5 starts to come into play.
Yeah, and now again, if you push up these side lanes for Elements and then go to the mid lane, wait for the waves to come, you have the Baron buffed up here, you can actually very quickly go from mid to, say, top lane, buff up these minions here, make it very hard for ROCCAT to clear them, and you should be able to take down a tower if that happens. You see Wicked turning from the top lane, the wave is going to push for him. Bottom lane is going to do the same for Elements, so now you just push up the mid lane, wait for your two side lanes, and then you move between them to take down these last few turrets. Look how hard it is for ROCCAT to clear these minions.
Even with the amount of damage that they have, these Baroned up minions are really, really difficult to shove back, and that cannon one's going to be so irritating to deal with because you can't check into it safely. Look at that crazy engage that Elements is just baiting out. So this is going to be a harder test for them. Maybe if they can get a catch on someone and force the fight, but the minion waves, they're still coming.
They are slowly being built up. At least the top wave is building for Elements. Using that cannon minion, which died with the piece.
He brought attention to it. There it goes. Ward's down as well. A little cheeky there from Elements as they build up a bigger wave with the cannon. It's already at half health. Nukeduck forced to use his Zanya's Hourglass. Still needs a lot of damage. Yeah, they don't have the threat here, and the Equalizer was thrown down, making them think twice, and it's so low, but they should be able to finish it off. They have the damage. There we go, but will they make it out alive? Jankos is going to go in. Vander, flash hook, they find Wicked. However, the Leona, overpower, so low. Zanya's is on, but he won't live for long. Actually, I was completely wrong. Never mind. Reckless is going to take him down, and that is 1 for none so far. Vander not going to connect on the hook. They get the inhib. They should be able to get out, or if they want, push up the top side.
Straight
just swing
to the top lane again. You build up this minion wave beforehand, take it, push it in. Overpower is dead for the next minute. There should be another tower and inhibitor here for Elements.
Slow march to victory. That is how Elements likes this game. Should change their logo to a turtle next season. They're going to start shoving this one in. So much damage. Jankos, they're going to try to make the effort. They caught Froggen, though. He's got his Zanya's on as well, and the rest of the team is backing up. They didn't time the skill shots. They catch Nif as well. Nukeduck's going to blow him up, and the tower is down. Can Elements keep this up? The answer is no.
They're still chasing. Chilling smite down onto Wicked.
Oh, they get it, Wicked. So low, but Nukeduck doesn't connect on the chains. They look for Shook as well. Froggen tries to find the damage. Woolite, half of his health is gone after the charm. They're still looking for Shook. Can they get him down? The Rockets are flying. Team ROCCAT is flying forward. Shook kicks them back. No, thank you. There's the denial. They still are on the hunt, and Nukeduck comes up with the kill. Wicked now chase back, but they have to get back to base and defend. They've got themselves 2 in the aftermath.
Yeah, so Elements here should be able to stay in the game despite losing 2 members. Yeah, no problem for them, but the Dragon is alive, and that's going to be the goal here for ROCCAT.
Froggen's still hanging around because he knows this is such a tense moment here. Not enough minions to push in, and actually, Overpower, now that he's back, there's a big wave pushing down bottom. Elements is actually in some trouble from that follow-up. 5th Dragon should go over to ROCCAT. There's nobody there to try to contest it. They've got the damage, and they go Super Saiyan. They've got some time in the books, Deficio.
Then you go back now, you buy your items, you push down the mid lane where the super minions are, you make sure none of the side lanes are pushing against you, and then you use this massive Baron buff you have. 12% AD and AP, 58 minutes in, that is a very, very big buff. And of course the true damage as well coming in from you now, being picked up. So you push down this mid lane, make sure the super minions can't do anything to your Nexus turrets. They did actually lose a single one beforehand, which is actually a while ago when Elements tried to finish the game. And now you look for these fights because you are so much stronger.
Yeah, ROCCAT really pushing the limits of this one. Getting into that 6-item territory. You actually see Woolite selling his boots for the Zephyr, so that's how you know it's a long game.
That's a risky one, though.
It is a bit
some
risky.
movement speed here.
And he also loses the cooldown on his summoners when he picked up that enchant as well. So I don't know how well that's going to work out for him, but for the moment, ROCCAT is pushing down this tower.
Yeah, this tower is going to die very, very fast. There's 511 AD on Woolite at the moment, and he has 30% more damage on a tower as well. If he ever gets just a few seconds, then he will destroy it.
The key is
but he knows.
safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Xander's done an excellent job of that. He's only died twice now. The siege is on. They have so much damage.
In.
There we go. They don't have the follow-up, though. This is going to force them to back away for a moment. It's hard to push in with the super minions, but that dragon buff, that 5th dragon buff, is so big for ROCCAT right now. And in a few more seconds, yes, we have officially passed an hour into this game, Officio.
And ROCCAT should just stay in this mid lane. The ulti's gone from Nif now, at least for another 20-25 seconds. So Woolite,
they got the wave.
Go in, try and get a few hits here, but still needs to be careful again. Shook can try and kick him in again. Froggen with a charm. This tower, though, is going down.
They've done it. They cracked the shell.
Yeah.
It took them an hour to do it, but they've finally been able to take down an inhibitor turret. Still, Elements is threatening, but against this 5 Baron ROCCAT squad, it's going to be tough to defend it. Look at those rockets just chunking now. How much damage they're able to do. Dodging the charm there, Froggen trying to get in. That one is going down.
Another
so the inhibitor, they've traded. It's in the middle. They've got 2 inhibitors down, 1 apiece in the middle, but ROCCAT's is going to come up a lot sooner, and they've got waves. They can push down the bottom side.
Here. Look at the side lanes. A massive one on the top side, the big one here on the bottom side. They're going to push him for the next one. You still have the buff from the dragon.
Oh, they're going to look for Froggen. He's found Jankos. Oh my goodness, so much damage. Reckless is able to pick him up, and ROCCAT are in hot retreat now as they go a little far forward and take too much damage. That's going to be over a minute till Jankos is back on the field.
Yeah, back to base with you, ROCCAT here. Baron is now spawning. Elements are going to get the Baron for this because the jungler is dead. And that's why ROCCAT is staying around. They want to try and rush in, get the inhibitor here, trade that for the Baron, and then recall after.
They're waiting a little bit long here, but this is brilliant right now from ROCCAT.
And going.
There we go, moving it forward, and how long will it take them to realize timer is ticking down? Here we go, Baron is happening, but ROCCAT have their eyes set on the base, and there's no reaction, tower's going down.
Faster recalls once you have the Baron killed.
But they don't have it yet.
Elements, but they don't have it yet. No,
they're actually backing away here. So they do trade it, but it's still 2 inhibitors close by each other. ROCCAT get out, they're able to make that. I think they honestly could have pushed in for a little bit more, but it would have been really, really risky at that point.
That would have been too risky, yeah, with the Baron recalls coming in here, taking a few seconds for Elements, and also being 5 guys. Remember, Jankos is still dead for another 10 seconds.
But this is great because even though they've given up the Baron to Elements, the last time they were able to take an inhibitor just barely. This time, they don't have inhibitors on their middle and their bottom, so there's super minions that are going to meet them in 2 of those lanes.
Yeah, it's going to make it a bit harder for Elements to push up, but they're just going to look for the last fight.
Yeah. 2 minutes on Dragon, though,
exactly.
too.
You have the Baron
Elements
buff.
could grab that one just because of the Baron buff that they have and try to secure up a little bit more for themselves. ROCCAT in a bit of a fix, but Jankos is back up now. Can they hold off this push, though? That's the question.
That is the big question.
Overpow.
Oh, yeah.
He's waiting. He knows that they don't see him here. He could throw down the equalizer. Charm is going to connect on Jankos, but there is no follow-up again. Wicked has Big Gnar at really inopportune time, actually. It's going to run out in just a moment. And they're still pushing through this, but there's not a lot of wave pressure pushing in their favor elsewhere. So if they can get this inhibitor, it'd be huge for them, but ROCCAT's still keen on defending this one.
This is a very risky play by Elements, considering the fact your side lanes are pushing against you. Super minions will pour into your Nexus from the bottom lane, so they have to make this push count here. They have to take the right fight as well for this to pay off. They need that inhibitor down.
Yeah, they're getting chunked. There's the equalizer. They're actually going to bail out of this one. Froggen is caught a little bit farther behind. Do they have the chunk for him? Big Gnar comes out. Wait a minute. Overpow just gets exploded, and Wicked in the back causing some havoc. Here they go. This could be the end of it all. A double kill to Reckless. ROCCAT is blasting off again, and that looks like it's going to be Elements. Only Nuke Duck is there to defend this. Inhibitor goes down, and when all looks lost, Elements coming up ahead. Nuke Duck getting blown up. Froggen with the ace. Inhibitor Nexus going down. 64 minutes in. Elements take all the way back to the base.
And what a game of objectives and buffs here. All about the Baron buff, all about the 5th Dragon for the last 20 minutes.
So close. It was ridiculous how many times that one went back and forth. And at that moment, the last-ditch effort, they pass 100,000 gold in that game. Gold didn't even matter at that point. They go ahead and manage to wipe out Team ROCCAT. Smiles, but a hint of doubt there for Elements. They had such a hard time finishing this game off.
Very, very tough game. And for ROCCAT here, I mean, you play Fnatic yesterday, face Elements today. Same kind of game, actually. You go full late game. You have your AD carry as the hyper carry. And you come back in the game, you're so close, and yet you end up losing the last team fight and you lose the game for them. There were some very, very